All right, welcome to our Vikings investment negotiation. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'm like barely in yours, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Okay.
All right.
So I'm Sandy Wood.
And I am Pat.
I don't know how to say the last name. Olfolson?
Alfaso.
Okay,
Alfaso.
yes. This is Pat. I'm Sandy. Okay. Well, thank you for taking the time, to meet today. I think we have a lot that we need to discuss.
Absolutely.
And personally, I think that we both have kind of a lot in common. I think that we're both kind of struggling in the current business economy. I might be wrong, but and the real estate business has been very competitive and the economy's kind of down. So I think we might have that in common, and I think that we can work together to figure out a solution that will be best for the both of us. And the struggling economy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay.
So I understand that you did do some work for me.
Yes.
However, the numbers, there was a change that you made that wasn't authorized,
Okay.
and
Yes.
you billed me for a certain amount.
Yes.
And that amount exceeds the original agreement,
Yes.
which is $700,000.
Yes.
Do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, so I was talking to
My
where's my
secretary?
case? Yeah, well before that. So I was talking to a lumber supplier, and they contacted me and said that there was one of their clients went bankrupt, and so basically they had to sell everything, and they had oak, and the oak was going to be at a discounted price, so it would be a lot cheaper than it would be originally. And I know we had discussed prior about, your condos would be like the quality condo because of the competing one that was being built. And so I thought this was going to be a great opportunity because oak is much finer quality than what we were going to use, and I thought we could get it at a really good price. So I took that information and I called Viking and Fawn. Is that Fawn?
Yes,
Okay.
Fawn. Yes.
Fawn. I was like, what did it say? Fawn told me that you were on a trip.
Yes.
And that you wouldn't be back for a while, but we only had 24 hours to make this decision. And from the information I was given, I was afraid that the competitor condominium was going to take the oak if we didn't, and I didn't want that to compromise, the quality orders that we had talked about. So I was talking to Fawn about it, and she went ahead and I showed her some numbers about, how it would only be a 3% increase in cost, but you guys could end up selling these condos for like $15,000 to $20,000 more. And so we agreed that we would go with it. And so 15 minutes to go with my 24-hour deadline, I called the company and said, we'll take the oak. So we did, and that's what happened. And, I didn't read the contract, so we really didn't get, it in writing or on the signatures. But I had figured, since Fawn has made decisions like that in the past, and she was kind of operating as your agent, and I had just assumed, it would be okay to do it. But, it is my bad that it wasn't in writing. But, so that's the background in the situation.
Understood. The only thing is that, what was communicated with Fawn was that it would be $200 over, and it went $2,500 over.
Okay.
So that's one of the things.
So it went to 7,000, and Fawn was told that it would be 9,000.
Yes.
But it said 9,500.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, mine didn't say anything about being 9,000. But so I charged 9,500 because of the labor for oak is more intense. The oak itself was more expensive. Other variable costs, and then a 7.5% markup for me, which brought it to the 9,500.
Okay.
I don't know where the 9,000 came from.
Well, all right. Well, I'm glad that we were able to discuss that. There's also the issue of payment that you owe me, that you and your company owe me, which is of $200,000.
Okay.
As well as 2 months of rent that you owe me as well.
Yes. What is it $200,000 for? Is that my loan?
Yes, the loan.
The loan.
Yes.
Oh, are you calling that back? Like, you want me to pay the principal on it now?
Well, in order for me to make some investments that I would like to make, I would need that. So at this moment, I am looking at making a few investments in a lake property and a hotel, and I'm trying to, get the assets from you as well as put it with my own money in order to make some investments.
Okay. So I think I was wrong in assuming that we're both struggling. Are you struggling?
I don't think I'm struggling.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Okay. So.
However, I understand that your financial status, and
Yes.
According to how things go, I do not want you to end up bankrupt.
Yes.
I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there.
Okay. Yeah.
So, if you're willing to discuss a very, very simple option that I thought of, I think this would be able to allow you to not go bankrupt, as well as pay the $210,000 that is owed to you.
Okay. Perfect. Because the thing is I need at least $9,100 for the condos, like $9,100 per unit for the condos, in order to not go bankrupt. And
that is a total of
$910,000, just to pay the cost of my investment in the condos, not recognize any profit from it, just to pay off my oak supplier, because I have 15 days to pay that, and if I don't pay him at least $910,000 in those 15 days, then I will go bankrupt. And I'm very dependent on the loan, and I honestly, if I had to pay that $200,000 right now, I don't have it.
You would end up going bankrupt.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I will end up going bankrupt. I'm right there. I'm like right there. And so that's, I guess, why we're here today, is I'm glad that you're on the same page of trying to help me not go bankrupt, because, this deal basically, if it doesn't work out, then I will not have anything.
Okay, well, there's one thing that I thought of.
Okay, I want to hear it, yes.
I want to hear if you consider it.
Okay.
So, I understand that you do own a mansion that is worth millions.
Okay.
I know that you have renovated it quite a lot throughout the years. And I was wondering if you would consider maybe putting that mansion up for sale, so moving your family into a smaller, more affordable home until you can afford to, buy a new mansion.
Okay.
And that way, you can use, even if it's $1 million, even if you sell it for $1 million, I'm sure it's worth more than that with all the renovations that you've done. In the text, it says that it's worth millions. So I think if you put that up for sale, you'd not only be able to save yourself, you'd be able to pay me $210,000 as well.
Yes. Okay. And do you have a price that you are willing to offer me? Would you be buying the house, like your company would?
So I wouldn't be buying it.
Okay.
However, I feel like, with a home such as yours, with all those renovations.
Oh, you're saying I should just put it up for sale?
Yes, I'm not trying to buy it from you. I think you should put it up for sale.
Okay.
Since at the moment, it'd be able to save your company and you'd be able to pay me.
Okay. And actually, I have thought of that. But I've talked with a real estate agent, and the market, not only is the business market struggling, the real estate homeowners market is struggling, and my real estate agent told me I would not be able to get, I wouldn't even be able to get close to $1 million for it. And if I had to sell it in this market, I would lose a bunch of equity on it, and I wouldn't get enough money, because my banker and my real estate agent, they both kind of know about my situation and my financial situation, and they're saying I can't sell it right now and still get enough money to pay what I would need to pay.
I see. Okay. So here's what.
Because it wouldn't be worth millions.
Okay. So at this moment, it's not worth millions.
No, it is. It is. If the market was stable,
it
would be worth over $1 million. But in the current market, if I were to sell it right now, I would not get that much for it.
Okay. Well then.
Because I have thought about that.
Okay.
To raise money.
I then have another suggestion for you.
Okay.
And I think this one might work a little bit better for you, I guess, at this moment.
Right.
So, as you know, I have sold the property to someone else. Everything is already signed and sealed.
Yes.
However, I need to pay you right now $700,000.
You need to pay me that right now?
Yes, that's according to our contract as well.
Okay.
If I pay you that $700,000, I will make a profit, an overall profit from the condominiums, which is $220,000, right?
So if you give me the $700,000, you will make $220,000 off of the condos.
Off of the condos.
That have been sold to the speculator.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, with that 220, after that sale goes through, with that 220,000, I will be willing to rent. I will be willing to, sorry, not rent, but loan you the money that you need so that you do not go bankrupt. However, I want to slap on 15% interest rate.
Oh. Dang it. Okay. I like the idea.
However, I also would like some payment on the rent, or
Right.
just you continue to be my my resident,
Okay.
but you'll sign a promissory note to pay the 10,000.
Oh, okay. I can have that $10,000 to you by the end of the week.
Okay.
I just have to wait for one of my other clients' checks to clear. So we should be able to cover that issue by the end of this week. I'll have the $10,000. Okay, but back to the bill. Okay, so 220,000 plus the 700,000 would put us at 920, right? See, I'm so good at math. Would put us at $920,000. But I wouldn't be able to get, you're loaning that money to me, right? So I wouldn't be able to get it like instantly.
Well,
would it be, how does it work?
the deal is already done. So in order for me to get that that profit from the condominiums on that sale, I can't go over what we originally agreed, which
Okay.
is 700,000. So
Okay.
I give you the 700.
Oh.
I receive what I receive from my buyer, and then now I loan it to you, in order so that you don't go bankrupt.
Okay, so you loan it to me. So you give me the 220,000 amount in full, and then
We'll pay it back over time.
do you know how many years?
How many years do you need with a 15% interest rate?
No, I don't know how to do that math. So 15% interest rate of 220,000 is how much? My calculator is on my
I
phone.
haven't necessarily figured that out. I just
Okay.
know that that's what I
we were
want,
told.
and according to what
15%. Because I know that the 10% interest rate that I already have on my $200,000 loan is a lot. And I like, even if I could get that down to 9% would be a huge help, and that's only 1% difference. So it scares me. The 15% interest rate scares me. Is there any way we can lower that interest rate?
How about 10?
$10 would be more doable. And I would be owing you a 10% interest rate on $220,000 for however many years it takes me to pay that off. And then I would be owing you a 10% interest rate on the $200,000 that I already have. Unless we can get that down to 9%.
Well,
because now that I'm going to have two, I need this so I don't go bankrupt.
right.
So I've got to make that work. I need this because if I didn't have the second loan, I wouldn't be in existence. And even though that 10% interest rate has been very high for me, I've been making it work because I need that loan to stay alive, basically.
Okay. So do you think? So you're saying that another 10% on an additional loan
yes.
would be too much?
I don't think I could make that work.
Okay.
I think that would bankrupt me in itself as well.
Okay. So the least I'm willing to go is 8%.
Okay, for the $220,000 loan.
Yes.
Okay. I think that sounds better to me. And then I would pay back that $220,000 at an 8% interest rate over however many years. And there's no deadline. Obviously, the longer I pay, the more I'm going to end up
Well,
paying.
yeah. So let's do it for 5 years.
Yeah.
If you can do that, and it would be in your best
Yeah,
interest
so
to.
do it sooner.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing with this is I would like to have you sign a mastery promissory note
Okay.
to pay it back.
Okay, just like a contract saying I will pay it back.
Yes.
Okay. I think that will work. So here's this is when I want to pause the thing. Okay. I think that takes care of the bill, because then I can pay my oak supplier his money by the 15th, or in 15 days. And that gives me the $920,000. Okay. Okay.
So even though I don't get to invest in my property,
And I
it is
sign.
in my best interest for you to not go bankrupt.
Yes.
So I'm happy that I was able to help you in this way.
Okay, thank you. So now you're saying since you're giving me this money, you won't be able to invest in the hotel that you're wanting to invest in.
I will not, no.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate that
Yeah, of course.
for keeping me alive and my family alive. And I will sign your promissory note, and I will get that money back to you.
All right.
Okay, so I guess that's the,
And you will pay the $10,000?
and I'm paying the $10,000 by the end of this week.
Okay.
Except I did want to talk further about the rent. So I've been paying $5,000 per month, and you knew that I was going to leave, right? You know that? You talked?
Yes.
Okay, because that's what I said. And I was going to be in another building for $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
And we signed the contract, we had everything worked out, but then the landlord told me that his son, who is the current lessee of that building, or renter of that building, was not going to leave. His son wanted to stay there. So even though we'd already finalized paperwork, that can't be mine anymore.
Okay.
Which means I do need to stay with you in your building. But I was hoping we could reduce the rent to $4,000 a month, which, is comparable for the market value of everywhere else in the area, and that would really help me since I am very tight on money if I could just get it for $4,000
Okay.
and stay with you.
How about, so I will agree to that on one condition.
Okay.
First I need the 10,000.
Yes, okay.
And then we can drop it to 4,200.
Okay. Okay. Rent, 4,200. Okay. And you just want me to give you the 10,000 first,
Yeah.
and then we'll re-sign our contract and stuff. And I will have that to you by the end of the week when my client's check clears.
All
So
right.
after I give that to you, we can have another meeting, sign papers. This 4,200 rent will definitely help.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it will let me stay with you, which I like the building I'm in, so that is a good thing.
Great.
Okay.
Glad to hear that.
So that was issue number 2. And then the loan, $200,000 loan. Do you have anything with that?
So what is your ideas in terms of that? I know you need that in order to stay
Yes,
afloat, right?
I need that loan. I do want to talk about the 10% interest rate. I know a lot of other banks or whatever in the area, the comparable loans for businesses of my size are 9%, and I know it's only a 1% difference, but it would make a huge difference to me because that extra 1% is really killing me. So I guess I just want to talk to you about getting that lowered, even by 1% to 9%. Is there any way you could make that happen?
I'll be willing to drop the percentage if we can increase the rent to 4,400.
Ooh. Okay, hold on. See this thing at finance. Okay, so if we would increase the rent to 4,400, then we could drop the interest rate to 9%.
Yep.
Let me read my thing again real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 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 So 4,400 or 9%. Oh shoot. I kind of need to use my phone as a calculator.
No, go ahead. We can pause it.
We're going to use a calculator really quickly.
Yep. Yeah.
Where's the pause? Oh, there we go.
All
Okay,
right.
so can you remind me of the deal you just proposed?
So in order to drop the initial loan from 10% to 9%, I would consider doing it if we raise your rent from $4,200 to $4,400 a month.
Okay. And I think that I can do that. I think that would help a lot because it gets my interest rate down, the 1% that has been eating at me, and it gets my rent under $5,000, which is what I really need as well. So
I think it's very important to consider that you haven't really moved into the next place yet, so you haven't
Right.
started paying
I haven't,
$4,000.
right.
So technically, you are getting $600 off your rent monthly.
yes, which over the 12-month period will definitely add up and will help me a lot. Okay, I think all this will work. And the big thing will be I will have 2 loans to pay off. But I don't see why that wouldn't be doable because my business will still be in operation, because I won't be bankrupt, so I will be.
And of course, we'll
having
still
clients.
utilize your services as well, because
Okay.
we have had a relationship for a
Right.
while.
You're a big client of mine, and I
exactly.
appreciate your business.
Exactly.
Okay, I think all this works.
All right, so just as a recap, I will loan you the profits off the condominiums after paying you the initial $700,000.
Okay, yes.
I will then lend it. So, yes, I will loan you it.
Yes.
The interest rate will be, is it 8% on the first one? The initial loan, which is the 210,000. $200,000.
Yes.
That will be dropped to 9%
Okay.
as long as you pay me the rent that is owed to me.
Yes.
And the rent will also move from $4,200 to $4,400 a month.
From 5,000 to 4,500 a month, right?
From
five-
yes, you're right.
Okay.
From 5,000 to 4,400 a month.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I think.
And this
we
is
have a
all
deal.
contingent upon signing of a mastery promissory note.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, which we will have in writing and it'll be contract. And I don't see why this wouldn't work.
All right.
So
Deal?
it's a deal.
Thank you. Great negotiating with you.
Yes, thank you for meeting with me. I'm glad we have talked it through and been able to maintain our relationship.
Absolutely. And I look forward to working with you more in the future.
Yes, great. Thank you.
Wonderful.
All right. Did I just hit this one?
The square.